Hello, friends, and welcome to The Architecture Enthusiast. Tatlin's Tower, officially known as the Monument to the Third International, is one of the most ambitious and iconic unrealized architectural projects of the 20th century. Designed by Russian artist and architect Vladimir Tatlin in 1919 to 1920, the tower was envisioned as a symbol of the communist revolution and the new era of Soviet power. Tatlin's tower was intended to be a dynamic, futuristic structure that embodied the ideals of constructivism, a radical artistic movement that sought to fuse art, architecture, and technology in service of the new socialist state. Standing before Tatlin's visionary design, you would have been confronted by an enormous spiraling structure of steel and glass planned to reach a height of 400 meters, 1,300 feet, taller than the Eiffel Tower. The design is a combination of geometric forms and mechanical elements, with a double helix-like structure spiraling upward in a twisting motion. The spirals are made of open steel girders that would have given the tower a skeletal, industrial look, reflecting the constructivist celebration of raw materials and functional design. Tatlin envisioned the tower as a monument to modernity and revolution, designed to house the headquarters of the Third International, the worldwide communist organization. The structure would not have been a static monument, but rather a working building with dynamic, rotating interior spaces. The design featured three large geometric volumes inside the steel frame: a cube, cylinder, and sphere, each of which would rotate at different speeds. The cube was intended to house legislative offices and would rotate once a year. The cylinder, dedicated to executive functions, would rotate monthly, and the sphere, for information and media dissemination, would complete a full rotation every day. This rotating function symbolized the dynamism of the new Soviet era and the constant movement of history and progress. The design was highly conceptual and celebrated as a bold representation of the Soviet Union's revolutionary ideals. It sought to embody the optimism and forward-thinking spirit of the post-revolutionary period, with its sheer scale and mechanical elements representing the power of the working class and industrialization. Tatlin's tower was not just a building, but a monument to the future, a vision of architecture as an active, transformative force in society. However, Tatlin's tower faced enormous practical and technical challenges, which ultimately prevented its construction. The design required vast amounts of steel, a material that was in short supply in the years following World War I and the Russian Civil War. The Soviet Union, struggling with economic instability and material shortages, simply could not provide the resources needed for such a colossal project. Additionally, the technical demands of the rotating elements posed significant engineering challenges that, at the time, were beyond the capabilities of available technology. The structure's height and complexity would have required breakthroughs in construction techniques that were not yet feasible in the 1920s. Critics also questioned the tower's practicality and symbolic meaning. Some saw it as an overambitious, utopian dream that could never be realized, while others criticized the monumental scale and industrial aesthetic, which they felt was dehumanizing and alienating. The tower's stark mechanical appearance and its emphasis on functionality over traditional aesthetics were seen by some as too radical, too detached from the lived experiences of the Soviet people, and more of an ideological statement than a building that could actually serve the needs of the new society. Despite these criticisms and the fact that Tatlin's tower was never built, its influence on modern architecture and art cannot be overstated. It has become an enduring symbol of the avant-garde spirit of the Russian constructivist movement. The design pushed the boundaries of what architecture could represent, emphasizing the fusion of art, technology, and social progress. Its audacious form and conceptual ambition continue to inspire architects, artists, and theorists as a monument to the power of imagination and the potential for architecture to shape the future. Ultimately, Tatlin's tower remains one of the great what-ifs of architectural history, an unrealized utopia that captured the spirit of its time but was held back by the limitations of the real world.